Welcome to this edition of Nolan Knows. Let's jump into the lightning round. Senator John McCain says that Obama's ISIS strategy reminds him of Vietnam. Reminds me of Vietnam too. We just sent 1,500 more troops in. Now they're discussing at the Pentagon sending troops in to actually fight ISIS. This is a leadership problem. President Obama put himself in this boat, and it's going to be bloody before it's finished. Next on the list, down in Arkansas, the governor has decided he's going to pardon his son from his drug charges. Drug laws are a waste of time and money. We're incarcerating people for self-medicating. I never understood how that helped anyway. I don't blame the governor. He has the power to do it. He should do it. Should do it for every other non-violent drug user too. Next on the list, 42% of the new Medicaid signups are immigrants and their children. It's amazing. The system is being overwhelmed. They've lowered the standards. They've put more people in, and there are fewer doctors accepting Medicaid. The net result now is that doctors are losing money and fewer doctors and their offices are accepting Medicaid patients. It's a spiral to hell. We're going to be broke before this is finished. On the list from the Vatican, the Pope Francis is going to install showers for the homeless. He's going to do this in the poor side of town. I always thought that the Catholics just cleansed souls, but apparently they're cleansing all the rest of the body too. You know, I'm not sure who's going to be happier about this, the people taking the shower or the people who have to live around them. But I'm betting everybody's going to be thrilled. Gas is finally down to $3 a gallon. Not sure how long it'll last, but I'm going to enjoy it while I can. Some say this is going to make Christmas better because people will be saving a few bucks every time they fill up the gas tank. I don't think it amounts to that much, but you know, the laws of supply and demand are fabulous. We've increased the supply, prices are coming down. A woman in Washington, D.C. spent $35,000 to find her lost dog. Well, if you've ever owned a dog or a cat or any pet, what you find out is that they're something like family. They're like a child, I guess. I can't exactly describe it. I don't know if I'd spend $35,000, but if I had it and I lost a dog that I loved, it probably would seem like a worthwhile investment. Kim Kardashian is in the news. Well, parts of her are in the news, or in the nude, I'm not sure which. Anyway, her famous derriere is in the news. It just doesn't impress me. I mean, this girl, if somebody told her to haul ass, she'd need 2 trips in a wheelbarrow. Doesn't impress me at all. This segment of the program is called If They Were Here. In the news all week, we've been hearing about one Jonathan Gruber, MIT economist, who has opened his yap and spilled the beans about Obamacare. Wow. Democrats are trying to distance themselves from him, and the Republicans are pouncing on him like he's a piece of raw meat and they're a hungry puma. Well, I like the guy. I'll tell you why I like him, because he's honest. He pointed out that the American public, the voting public, are not particularly bright when it comes to economics, and it's true, they don't understand it. Now, he may have sounded arrogant, but he was still right. You see, he pointed out that in order to get Obamacare passed, and to have it not look as though it's a tax on individuals, what they decided to do, and I understand it was John Kerry's idea, by the way, was to tax the evil insurance corporation. Those evil, greedy corporations get taxed, the general public won't care. What they don't know, he pointed out, is that those taxes are simply passed on to the consumer in the form of higher prices. So you see, he was right. He did tell the truth, and he was right. We don't generally understand it. He also went on to talk about Romney Care in Massachusetts. I keep hearing from the liberals how wonderfully that's been working. But he points out that the federal government, with the help of Tubby Kennedy, the late senator from Massachusetts, extorted hundreds of millions of dollars every year to pay for it in Massachusetts. So apparently it's not economically feasible there either. It's not working at any level. But instead of pouncing on this guy, instead of tearing him to shreds, we should be giving him some kind of an award. If he were here, I'd shake his hand, I'd pat him on the back, I'd say, thank you. You pointed out to the American public how you guys deceive us. You pointed out to the American public how economically ignorant we are. And maybe next time around, we'll know better. That's what I would tell him if Mr. Gruber were here. We're going to introduce a new segment on the program. It's called After the Fact. As you may or may not know, I host a syndicated radio show, And in this segment of Nolan Knows, I'm going to play a few clips from some interviews of mine, and then we'll extemporize. I had the opportunity this week to chat with Dr. Ben Carson. Dr. Ben Carson is a neurosurgeon who had the courage to stand right next to President Obama and give an honest opinion of Obamacare. He's been really popular in Republican circles, and to tell you the truth, I like the guy. I don't know if he's presidential material or not, but I really enjoyed chatting with him. But what I was trying to find out is whether or not he's really going to run for president. A lot of people are encouraging him. So I started asking questions kind of in the third person, like the abstract, like if there was a neurosurgeon, and watch how he answers.
Let me ask you this. If there was a neurosurgeon who had the courage to speak his mind and he decided he might run for president, what would he hope to accomplish?
Well, I hope it wouldn't be anything that was particularly neurosurgically focused. But what I would want to accomplish, were I to do that, is putting the United States Constitution back on the top shelf where it belongs. And I mean every aspect of it, not picking and choosing the parts that we want to enforce and the parts that we want to ignore. I would also want to help the American people understand that we're not each other's enemies. Even if we disagree about something, it doesn't make us enemies.
If you listened carefully, you heard him say "I" in that. And I think that's an indication that he is in fact going to throw his hat in the ring and run for president. He's got a kind of a kumbaya way about him that probably would resonate with a lot of voters. He's talking about putting the Constitution on the top shelf, and he talks about taking it seriously, not taking it like cafeteria style. Most politicians do take it cafeteria style. They'll take what's convenient for them and they'll ignore the rest. But I thought it was a pretty decent answer.
I would also want to accomplish releasing the most powerful economic engine the world has ever known. What we've done instead is surrounded it with all kinds of fetters and unreasonable regulations and taxation, and we're just killing it. And if we let it go, I think we'd be well on the way to eliminating our deficits and our national debt.
When he's talking about turning loose the greatest economic engine in the world, he's right. We write so many rules and so many regulations that it's estimated to cost the economy literally hundreds of billions of dollars a year just in compliance with those rules. He sounds like he wants to set the economy free, like he wants to let businesses strike out and make money and hire people and create jobs. And he thinks that if we can get enough people working, we can start paying off the national debt. And to a certain extent, he's right. But if they don't curb this spending, it'll be a tough fight. I liked that answer too.
And then the other thing I want to see is us emphasizing ways to allow those in our society who are downtrodden and who feel victimized. We need to show them the way out, the way up. We need to invest in them in a way that provides independence and freedom, not a way that maintains dependency.
It was another great answer on the part of the good doctor. And again, I like what he's saying. The message there is, if you want the poor to become self-sufficient, you've got to give them opportunities. You've got to create demand for labor. You can't shackle them with government programs like welfare and food stamps, because those are the programs that keep the poor down in the long run. I like that answer. If he's not running, he sure has been practicing, because he sounds good.